This episode of the Paddy Wagon is brought to you by Somatic Therapy NYC. If you're ready to experience the transformative power of somatic therapy, contact Andria at somatictherapynyc.com or check out Somatic Therapy NY on Instagram to learn more and schedule your first session. Discover how good it feels to truly be in harmony with yourself. Hey everybody, pull up a seat. I have just topped off my glass. Why don't you grab your favorite beverage and join me? This is the Paddy Wagon. Welcome back to the Paddy Wagon, everyone. Today's guest is Anne-Marie Jacobs, and I truly believe she does one of the most important and probably misunderstood jobs, I guess we'll call it, or pieces of work. I don't know. I'll let her chime in here in a sec. But it's important. And what she is a death doula, also known as an end-of-life doula, someone who helps individuals and families navigate the final chapters of life with compassion, clarity, and dignity. Whether she's providing emotional support, guiding loved ones through difficult conversations, or helping people find peace in their last days, her work reminds us that death is not just an ending, but a deeply human part of life. In addition to doing this great work, she's also the host of Dear Psychopomp, Let's Talk About Death. I am honored to welcome my new friend, Anne-Marie, to the podcast to share her experiences, her wisdom, and insights on life, death, and hopefully everything in between. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here.
Yeah, was that a kick-ass intro or what? Did I miss anything?
No, that was amazing.
That was it. I'm glad you liked it. It was special just for you.
Fantastic.
Special. Well, before we get into the good stuff, well, no, I guess this is good stuff too. Two questions. What are you drinking? And then I'm going to follow that up with what the fuck is a psychopomp? All right, so we're going to do two parts. Drink, psychopomp.
So originally I had a martini.
And I know what happened. So what happened with that martini?
So I'm French and I talk with my hands. And I punched my martini and it fell all over my USB hub and my desk. And then I got another one. And then we were talking. And so I drank that. So now it's rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke. What type of rum do you like?
Well, they're not selling much American stuff up here anymore.
Is there a good? Yeah. That's the Kraken.
Kraken.
I'll get you some bottles. We'll send you some.
Okay.
Tariff-free, as we call it.
I'll send you some maple syrup.
That shit's no joke. If somebody has not had the pleasure of having Canadian maple syrup, which I feel like everyone has, I'm not talking that Mrs. Butterworth shit. It is the best. I love going to Canada just to have anything maple. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why it's so much better up there, but it really is. Do you know the answer to that?
Well, it's real. We don't mess around with the maple syrup here.
No, you don't. I've watched that process, by the way, which is very labor intensive.
And the tapping and the
Yep, tap the tree, and then when somebody does it by themselves, they'll take like 20 gallons of this shit and sap, and it basically makes like a little pint of maple syrup. Like it is so much sap that needs to make just a little. But you send me that. I'll send you booze. It'll be all good.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to milk a tree, you know.
It is. We could try. You can milk anything with nipples. What's that from?
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Yes, she's got it. I was going to say, I hope you get that one, and I'm not. She's like, this fucking pervert. What am I drinking? Russell's Reserve bourbon, 10-year. Pretty good. I'm a bourbon guy, which we didn't talk about what I was drinking. So now I'm letting you know. That's how I get down. It's not. It's really not.
Like a good
do you like
scotch.
peaty? Peaty or no peaty?
Not really peaty, but I don't mind if it bites you back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does peaty remind you of anything?
Peaty? Makes me think of Petrie, but from the
what it
Land
makes me
Before
think
Time.
of? Oh, yes. That's not where I was going with that, but yes. I feel like it has a medicinal Band-Aid flavor. Like there's a smell that a Band-Aid has that I feel like Scotch. I'm doing, by the way, world's worst sales pitch for Scotch. Hey, it tastes like
Right?
fucking Band-Aids. But does that make any sense to you at all?
Yeah, but after one glass, you'll be like, I love Band-Aids.
And then I forget the lowlands and highlands, but one of them is way more peaty than the other. I think the lowlands is not as peaty. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well. So we've got rum and Coke, and we've got some bourbon. So we're here to go. And so now, let's go part 2. What is a psychopomp?
A psychopomp, it comes from the Greek word psyche and pompos, which means soul guide. So a psychopomp is a guide for living souls to the place of the dead. And it's not cocky or anything like that. The reason I chose that name is because a dear friend of mine who passed away last year, he started off as a client and turned into my little brother. And
Nice.
one of the last things he texted me was, "I love you, my dear psychopomp."
So we carry that on for him.
Oh yeah.
I love it. That's
Keep
awesome.
it going. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. So I guess I want to start off with this, and I say this all the time, and I think that maybe saying it to you, I would like to hear your thoughts, because I truly believe this, and if I'm wrong, fill me in, please educate. But there's just something that I've said a lot, and I did not come up with this. I've heard it from somewhere. I don't know where I heard it, but is that the only 2 guarantees in life are that you were born and that you die. And everything you do in between is kind of what defines us, okay? Mm-hmm. But my question is are those the only 2 things that you think we are guaranteed? Is there something that I'm missing? Is it an accurate statement? So it's like you're born and you die, and they're the 2 bookends. And whatever you can do in between makes us who we are.
It's true, but we're also guaranteed so much more. And, it's a beautiful and magical thing that we even exist. We are ants on a rock hurtling through space. And that rock is, floating on liquid hot magma. So, just to kind of keep perspective, but we're not promised a long and easy life. We're emotional beings who like to pretend that we are logical beings. And we're also guaranteed to feel all the feelings. We are guaranteed to feel pain. We are guaranteed to feel hope. Every emotion really demands to be felt. And what keeps people back from really, really living their lives is grieving a pain-free future that they won't have, knowing that things are going to hurt, but not right now, I'm not ready. And that's what makes us scared of death. Because it's not, we like consistency. We like knowing things ahead of time. We read our reviews. We check with our friends. We do everything like that. But you can't, you can, but you can't necessarily practice death. And so the main thing is the uncertainty. How is it going to feel? And that fear mixed with, okay, but now I have to accept, if I have to accept death, that means I have to accept my life. And that means I have to accept my life up to and including today. And a lot of people do not want to look at their life up to today thinking that they could die tomorrow, because they're like, I'm not done yet. But I'm not done yet. When do I start? When do I do this? And so it's easier to just avoid it and say things like YOLO and make these posts like, I'm living my best life, I'm following my dreams.
I don't believe any of those people. I hate to say that, and I don't know if I'm just, the internet's done me wrong, if social media's done me wrong, but
No.
I do truly feel like it's all fake.
It is. We're all...
Every bit of it.
Everything on social media is us announcing to the world. We are presenting ourselves to the world. We are trying to control our narrative and trying to control our reality while also seeking that validation and acceptance online. And it's kind of like how you can tell the happiest couples on Facebook are the ones that don't post.
True that.
You know, if you really have to advertise how happy you are, you're not that happy.
Yeah. I've always said that, and it's like one of the things that I've, friends, family, it's like we all, for a while there, and I think it took a while for us to realize it, but people put everything out there. And they still do. Everything goes out there. Mm-hmm. And you look at it and you go, fuck, man, that person goes on vacation a lot. That person's kids look happy. That person's married. They got good looking. Everyone's perfect. Look at that. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, no, I don't believe any of that. Yeah, they have a good life. Like, I know for a fact that there's people out there that have a good life. People that I know. But what nobody does is put everything out there. You've got the woe is me people, the woe is me crowd. Look at me. My life is shit. Then you've got the everything's looking. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You put everything out there, but they don't put everything out there. They put what they want people to see, whether it's a cry for help or it's a mask that they pull over their own fucking eyes. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it's just, it's a bizarre thing that it's just, I don't think we're honest with ourselves. We're not honest with anyone. We're certainly, I mean, if you got to be honest with anyone, be honest with yourself. And I think we lack that. I think that kind of ties into what we're here talking about is like, it's like just death in general or life in general. What is it? Mm-hmm. And what do we want to give the appearance of something that maybe isn't true? And why are we're scared of death? Like we're scared of things. And I think it is, we don't know. But it's a fascinating, I would love to just kind of pick your brain over the course of this episode. And now since we're best friends, I'll be doing it forever. But just like, why do we tick the way we do? Like what makes us operate in that manner? Do you know?
We tick the way we do because somewhere along the line, there's different parts to our essence. There's different parts that make us whole. We have our brain, we have our soul, we have our body, we have the collective unconscious of the history of the world since we thought to record time and came up with the written word and symbols and things like that. And then somewhere in there, our egos took over. And it's like, okay, I care about how I'm perceived, and I'm going to try and control that because this is how I get validation and acceptance. Because there's a quote from Parker Palmer. He said, the human soul does not want to be advised or fixed or saved. It wants to be witnessed, to be seen and heard and companioned exactly as it is. And with our egos in the way, saying like, okay, well, I have to act like this and talk like this and do these fancy things, yep. We're betraying our actual self. You're Carl Jung said there's the ego, there's the persona, there's the self, and the persona is the mask that we wear when we're out in public, when we decide on how to treat children around us or elders around us, other people around us, everything like that. We're constantly comparing, and we're constantly worried about being misunderstood, that we are trying to get people to accept our personas, when really that means they're not seeing the real you. They're liking the version of you that you've created, but not your real self. So it's great that we get to share all these things together, but that's not really you. That's not really who you are on the inside.
Why do we do that? Is it keeping up with the, did you say keeping up with the Joneses in Canada? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, we totally do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured you'd be like, who the fuck are the Joneses?
No, everyone wants the blue house with the white shutters and the picket fence and 2.5 kids and 1.5 dogs and all that good stuff. Because we feel like our validation has to come from external sources. Look at that person over there with that white picket fence. They look so happy. I want to be happy like that. But you're not them. You're not walking their life. You don't know what they've been through. And comparison is the thief of joy. If you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, of course you don't know how to meet yourself. Of course you don't like yourself. Of course you're terrified of dying, because what have you been doing with your life up until this point?
Is that where it all comes from? Is truly the kind of the emotional aspect of not knowing who we are and not being honest with ourselves that make us fear death? Mm-hmm. Or is it, because I've always, it's like, I'm going to miss something. It's almost like a FOMO in a weird way.
Right.
At least, now that I have kids, like, I don't want to die. I certainly don't want to see them die. That's a given. Like, nobody wants to see their children die, but I don't want to die because I don't want people to be sad over me.
But that is a beautiful gift. If/when you die, the people left behind who are mourning you because of what you gave and how you made them feel and how you impacted them and what kind of person you were. And it's a frickin' honor to be able to then honor your life and carry on those memories. Because there's a saying that you die twice. You die once physically, and then you die the last time that someone says your name.
I've heard that recently, and that made my arm hair stand up when I heard that, because
a little bit, hey?
That is such a true statement, is that you will live on as long as people talk about you and give them a reason to live on in any way, shape, or form. Is just talking about them.
And
I've always loved talking about people.
Yeah, like if those memories of you made me so happy and meant so much and touched my soul that I am mourning the world's loss of you, what an honor it was to love you.
That's a really good way to put that. Yeah. And then it's, again, you have to get people to understand that, right? Mm-hmm. So I've always said, like, when I die, I just want people to laugh. Like, some sort of hybrid Irish wake / celebrity roast, where if I die and somebody just stands up in front and they're like, you know what, let me tell you a story about this asshole. That is a gift. That is a gift, because I've been to funerals, and when I was a little kid, I remember when my grandfather died, I was about 9, I want to say, and my sister's 4 years younger than me, so she's 5, and I felt like she wasn't crying enough. I remember that feeling that she didn't love him because she didn't cry enough. And then I remember a party that everyone has, right? You know, it's like somebody dies, it's like, hey, let's all get together and eat little ham sandwiches. But I remember laughing, and I was devastated. And so I'm furious at my sister for not crying, so she didn't love him. And then I'm furious at other people laughing and having a good time. And my mom's like, that is them enjoying him. They are sharing stories and laughing, and everyone's having a good time. You're allowed to be sad, and you're allowed to laugh, and you're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be all these things at once. And I think that we suppress some of these things because we feel like we have to. I want to laugh. I love laughing when people die. I love telling stories.
Oh, yeah.
And I would hope that somebody would do that for me. And, you know, for the people that care about me, just go up to my wife and my kids and go, dude, listen to this one.
Yeah. I volunteer as tribute. I will make something up to make you sound just like
He
the
was a
biggest,
peach.
bravest, badass. No, it's
He rescued me from a house fire once, and
Twice.
You know, twice. I've never told anyone that. I went back in, started the fire a second time, and he came back in.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
it's
my gosh.
and your reaction when you were 9 years old was not false or wrong or bad. You felt so strongly about your grandfather that you thought it was an injustice to his memory that they weren't taking it very, very seriously. And what a beautiful, beautiful gift your grandfather gave you. If you were like, this man deserves like the highest of compliments and the most serious of recognition.
Yeah.
Like that is just, that's
He
a
was awesome.
reflection of
He
how
was-
much you loved him.
Yeah, he was a great grandfather, and that's what that's what I remember the most about him dying was people laughing and having a good time, which was unacceptable to my 9-year-old ass, and then my sister not crying enough. And it's like when I look back on it, let's start with the fact that she was 5. Like we'll just get right into that. And I think my mom even said it, like she's a little kid, Mike. Like she's a little kid. She doesn't grasp the concept of not seeing this person again.
Yeah.
You are grasping that concept right now. And, you know, and it's, again, you just deal with it. But it's a very tough process to deal with it. And I think we shy away from it. We're so scared of the idea of death. We're so scared of dealing with it when it's present. And it's sad to me. And I think I've gotten better over the years. But when someone dies, it's like I just try to like, you know, that when we moved into the house, and this guy will listen to this episode. His father-in-law, the neighbor, her dad died. His father-in-law, and just the first thing I wanted to ask, and they had little kids, and the kids were like the same age I was when I lost my grandparent, and all I wanted to do when I saw them, and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry about your grandfather. You got any good stories about him? You got anything awesome? You got a funny story?" And you know, they didn't have one because they just weren't there at that time. But I just love hearing stories when somebody dies. Like I've become so accustomed to wanting to know a little bit about people. You know,
Never
hey,
stop that.
Yeah, you can cry in 5 minutes, but for the next 5, just tell me a time he made you laugh. Tell me a time that something funny as hell happened, and I feel that helps. You can see almost for
People
even
want
if it's
to
5 minutes.
talk about it.
Yeah.
They do. And, you know, like, it never stop. 10 years from now, do you have any more stories about your grandpa?
Yeah.
Like, your thing is asking for stories. My thing is asking for their name. And I don't say what was their name. It's still their name, whether they're here or not.
Right.
And going with that second death. So what was your grandfather's name?
John Thomas O'Brien.
John Thomas O'Brien. Oh, that sounds very like Mighty.
Yeah, well,
Very badass.
you know what? I don't know if we are. We're just, I think we sound better on paper. You'd love us all if you met us, but I don't know if mighty is the word I would use to describe us.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've already written my obituary.
Have you?
I have.
Really? That's interesting.
It's hilarious. It's, if I might say so myself, it's, you know, one of the parts is just getting to say my goodbye to the world. So it starts off with, like, you know, Anne Marie died doing what she loved, being alive. And if you want to use this for bereavement time, then tell them dear old Grandma Anne Marie passed away, and you need those 3 days. Like, go for it. And if you want to contact Anne Marie from this day forward, you can use a Ouija board, you can do smoke signals, or you can do a burn letter. And, you know, let's keep in touch.
I love it. I love it. Your say his name, which was great. I heard something within the last year or two where it was like, sometime you pick up your kid for the last time and you never realize it's going to be the last time you pick them up. Mm-hmm. And I've heard similar things with that. Sometimes you text somebody for the last time and you don't realize at the time that's going to be the last time you ever speak with that person. Phone call, everything. But yeah. I ran up to my daughter the one day and I just picked her up off the ground and I said, not today, not today. And she's past that age where we'll be picking her up. But I said, you know what, I'm going to do that once a year, every year. There's never going to be a last time where I pick these kids up.
Yeah.
Because that's a really sad thought when you think about the last time something happens, and it doesn't have to be, I guess, the last.
Yeah, I think it's a small mercy to be able to take that moment for granted.
Yeah.
To just be in it. My friend who passed away, I knew it was our last phone call. He didn't say it, but with all my training and all the signs and everything like that, you know, I knew it from the moment he called. This is going to be the last time we speak. I'm going to talk to him. And that stuck with me hard. And so I am so loving. I want everyone to know that I love them. Like, if people can hate for no reason, I can love for no reason.
Amen to that.
Like, Mike, I love you. You're awesome.
I love you too. You're awesome too.
Oh, thank you. And it's something that we don't say enough, platonically or romantically, or, you know, it's something that got lost to the books and the movies, and it became a fantasy, and it's just hanging up the phone for the last time, and the only thing I could think of to say was, I love you, and thank you for letting me be a part of your story.
And that's it? That's
what I said.
That's it right there?
Yeah.
So...
what an honor to be heartbroken by this amazing person leaving my life.
What an honor to be heartbroken. It's so wonderful. That's such a great thing, because...
it's a privilege.
Imagine
to love and be loved.
Not caring. Somebody died. Yeah. Okay, well, that sucks for someone that must have liked him. And I was like, well, it might have been nice to like that person. Mm-hmm. It's pains. I was, you know, it hurts your soul to have animosity towards someone, to hate someone, to not like someone, to be jealous of someone. They don't live with that shit we do. If I don't like Anne Marie and I hate your guts, I'm the one walking around with that. That's a burden on me. You don't give two shits, or you technically shouldn't, if I don't give a fuck about you.
I do have Crohn's.
You do? Sorry about that. Don't shit yourself.
Don't you should, yeah.
But you get what
No,
I'm. You
but
get what I'm
it's
saying. It's
yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
So
It's
well, let me ask a question. Let me do this because I actually had a question. I think I didn't get to ask it. Well, I was going to, and we're just conversing, which is why I love the show and I love having you on. But I didn't want to ask it without saying it first. So I guess the first part would be for people that don't know what a death or end of life doula is. Just brief words on what that person does, what you do, and then now couple that with the knowledge and the education and how you pass these things on to people, and then how you deal with a personal situation like knowing you're going to be talking to your friend. Like, this is it. When I hang up the phone, there's no next time. Mm-hmm. So 2 parts, I guess, is what I would ask. Apparently, I love to do 2-part questions.
So sometimes end-of-life doulas will refer to themselves as such because people are scared of the word death. Me, I'm like death doula. Death. It's not going to happen like Beetlejuice if you call it in the mirror, no more than it's not going to happen if you don't talk about it. And so I ask the hard questions. I help people find their own peace, their own inner peace for themselves. And I do grief work for the families afterwards. I'll stay with a family for, up to a year to make sure they have all the resources and everything they need. The paperwork, the pre-planning. You don't have to be dying to go to a death doula. You can pre-plan. You can ask questions. And it's being that third-party objective point of view and staying steadfast while others are feeling their emotions and going through everything. It's basically, I'm a safe space for shitty times. If I could wrap it all up into...
That's a really good one. I like that.
Thank you. Did
you just come up with that now?
I did, actually.
So, can you be a death doula for yourself? Like, how do you... Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? How do you help yourself in a situation like that? Because you've got to get attached to these people. I think it's only human. You obviously don't flush your system of them. You don't. It's not like a client where they stop being a client. These people will always have a spot in your heart because they chose you. Mm-hmm. Right? You're not walking around to people. At least I hope, because if you do this, I don't know about you, but like, you're not walking up to people on the street and going, "Hey, listen, are you planning on dying soon? Because if you are, I've got a deal for you." It's like people seek you out.
Yeah. No, I'm a blast at parties.
I can tell.
I'm the person who on your birthday will be like, "Happy birthday, I love you. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. Have you updated your will recently?" That's the perfect time to do it, because that's when things change. And to be able to doula myself, I've had to go through a very deep dive of my personal issues. What I think are my shortcomings. It's very, very humbling. It's very raw. And it is hard. It's, even with all my training, I'm not perfect. I still mess up. I will put on my goggles and dive deep into sorrow and just be like, how do I get out of here? But you need to be able to feel those feelings. Feelings, like I said, they demand to be felt. And so doing this job has actually taught me self-compassion, which is crazy. And I know it might sound a bit cold or clinical to call them clients, but I need to. I need that sense of separation so that I can stay objective, so that I can give the advice and walk them through what they're going through. And then, nothing feels quite as good as pulling up to your house in the driveway and having a really good cry in your car.
I love crying.
Oh,
I always
man.
have. I didn't
Car
realize it until
crying
I got
is
older.
therapy. It's amazing. And it feels so good.
So, well, let's see. What I always say this, and it's like I say it and you don't give it any thought, but I say feeling your emotions is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Being happy and laughing and crying, like, God, you feel good after a good cry. Like, you feel so good. And it's like, the more I think about it, like, when I'm concerned when people don't cry. Mm-hmm. I'm concerned when people don't laugh. Like, when you're talking to somebody and you're like, this person hasn't fucking cracked a smile, they scare me. Or when you know somebody and you're like, they don't cry, I immediately think, like, what's wrong, or what's going on inside that they're blocked off to that. But when
Sometimes
I see somebody,
they don't know how to.
I know. I've seen it firsthand, but it's like, when you see somebody that can do all of those things, for some reason, you're like, that's a really healthy person. I can't tell you how many times my wife and I just cried for any number of reasons. It's just like, you know what I could use right now? How about a hug? Like something like that is simple, or just, I need to cry for a minute, or I need to laugh, or it's, me, I need to be demented. I need to be a sicko. But it's like, there's all these things that I need to do, and I don't feel right if I don't do them. I don't know what that is.
You need to express your feelings. People are stuck on words and memes and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we are emotional beings. The thing that we're forgetting is that emotions are temporary. Emotions are not facts. They're information. If you're upset, then something went against your values or something that you stand for. If you're sad, then something has ended up in a way that you did not expect or want. And if you can set some time aside, and this is the thing too with cell phones, it's bittersweet. I love the connection that it can bring. I love the idea and the intent behind it. And don't get me wrong, I love the cat memes. I love the cat videos. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the world needs more of that. But we've forgotten how to sit with ourselves. And that's one main thing that I learned from my dear friend. Because when I knew it was our last phone call, I knew, like, that was our last phone call, but that wasn't his last day on earth. And I asked him, can I call you on your last day? And he was like, you know what? I love you. Thank you. But I need a chance to say goodbye to myself. Nobody talks to themselves anymore. We're flipping and we're scrolling and we got music on, and we're not even listening to music to listen to the music anymore. It's background noise for us because we are so terrified of being silent with ourselves and facing ourselves that we will bend over backwards to not be alone with ourselves.
I had a guy I used to work with who, I consider a friend. Good, very just a guy, just a kind man, just a big fucking teddy bear if there ever was one. And he was always busy, just a busy, 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 busy. Go, 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 go. And it like fucking gave me anxiety. And the one day I just said to him, my God, do you ever just sit at home and not do something? God, it drives me nuts, dude. You're literally going 24 hours a day. And every expression left his face. And he said, when I'm alone, I'm sad. Every single time.
Yeah.
There's not a moment that I'm alone that I don't hate myself and don't hate who I am and I'm not sad. It's just, and it was just such, like, it fucked with me because I didn't see any of that. And I didn't understand any of that. And I thought, wow, like, you can't sit by yourself. I love being alone. And, you know, there's all these, like, I think they're jokes at this point, right? A lot of comedians talk about it. Women talk about it. Men talk about it. Like, you know, the wife goes to bed. That's like my time to sit on the couch with myself and just hang out for a little bit and be alone. And I always tell her, I know you like your time. And we do like our time. We should like our time alone. But there's a lot of people that fear that time alone. And there's a lot around that I'm always very curious about as to, like, why that's a thing. And I think that's a deeper psychological issue. But, I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know the answer. But it hurt me to know that that's a thing.
Well, I mean, it definitely, like, nature versus nurture, your environment, everything like that. But it does tie into fear of death, because if you can't accept yourself and your life, of course you can't accept death. And a lot of people are scared of death because they haven't reconciled that yet within themselves.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and it sucks, and it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it. You are worth your best efforts. No one is going to come save you except for you. And there's going to be parts about yourself that you don't like, and that's okay. It's a paradox. I don't like when I cut my own hair, but I still like my hair. That was a bad example.
Do you cut your own hair a lot? That's a
once.
interesting.
Once. I learned about trust that day.
I was waiting to see where you're going. I'm like, oh, she's going to say something about herself that she doesn't like. And she's like, I don't like when I cut my own hair. And I was like, wow, I thought there was going to be deeper than that. You don't like when you cut your own hair.
No. Well, that's because I've reconciled my biggest things. I mean, of course, I wish I could have been stronger or feistier and stood up for myself in my childhood. But at the same time, you have to have self-compassion. Like you were saying, when you were 9, you were a kid.
Yeah.
That you do the best with what you have, with what you're given, with the knowledge that you have at the time. And knowledge erases fear. It's the uncertainty, right? So if you're like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Of course you're going to worry about it. But I can tell you in order what is going to happen to your body as you die. I can give you that little bit of peace. I can say really nice things. I can say it in a weird accent. I can doll it up on Canva. But at the end of the day, you're the one who has to do the work. And if you can't accept yourself, I don't feel sorry for you. I feel heartbroken for you.
I can lead you to the door, but I can't walk through it with you.
Exactly.
Why did you want to do this line of work? You seem like a very... Okay, so I'm gonna do a little what I think of you since we just met tonight.
Okay.
I think you have kind eyes I think you were a very good person. And I could be dead wrong on all this. I don't know.
No, my eyes are pretty good.
You seem like you care, I guess. Like you seem like if I was dying, I would obviously want friends and family there. I'd want that. But like if you popped into the room too, I'd be like, all right, now this is a crowd. This is what I was looking for here. Mm-hmm. So I can see why you do this. It makes sense. I think I'm reading you correctly. But why did you want to do this?
It kind of chose me. It's one of those epic life stories where everything culminated to this point in time. I've known death since I was 4. It never scared me. It kind of fascinated me. I was like, okay, like we're not here forever. And I was a cemetery director for a while. I make resin memorial keepsakes and jewelry with ashes and things. I was a peace officer. I was a 911 dispatcher, operator. I've been around death and destruction my whole life, either by proxy or by accident. And the closer you are to death, the more alive you feel. When I have finished with a client and they have finished with me, the sun's a little bit brighter, the breeze is a little bit sweeter, and it keeps that perspective day in, day out. And I'm sure my friends would tell you it's completely obnoxious to be like, God damn, it's good to be alive. Like, what a good freaking day. But that's what it gives you. That's what accepting death gives you, because if you can accept death, that means you've accepted life.
So if I hear you, right? So somebody dies, right? I don't like client either. I think client sounds awful. I said it and I regret saying it. But
you can call them friends.
Let's call them your friends. And when your friend is no longer here in physical form, once they pass, actually, I heard, don't say pass away, just say die, because it's like it sugarcoats what actually happened. Do you agree with that? Like you said, death. I am a death doula.
Yeah. That's from my standpoint with being that objective. I say death. I say the hard words to give permission for others to use it, to be less scared of it. But at the same time, I'm going to meet you exactly where you are. So if you're going to say pass on, I am right there with you.
Okay.
It's all semantics.
Okay. So you notice the sun is brighter. You breathe the air. It's a little sweeter. The food tastes a little better that night. All these things are wonderful. And do you attribute it to the fact that it's like a kind of yin-yang thing, right? You've got death and you've got life. And it's like, well, this is what's at the end of this road. So if I'm going to be around death today, I'm going to make sure the rest of my day, I'm going to enjoy what we have here. It's a really sunny day and all of those things. Is that kind of where you're going with that? Mm-hmm. And your friends can't wrap their heads around you leaving a friend who's no longer here and enjoying the rest of your day. Is that the vibe I get?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you explained it to them? Because it makes weird sense. Like, she is way too happy for just being around somebody that died.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you could see my house, there's skulls and it's dark and there's...
I see one behind you.
And there's like plague doctor masks and there's books on death absolutely everywhere. And I actually asked my friend a little while ago, I was like, how would you describe me? And she was like, eerily joyful.
Eerily joyful. I just had to look up plague doctor mask. That is fucking horrifying to look at. I've seen it before. I never knew what it was called.
I have it as
and
decor.
I don't like it. Yeah. Just hang it on your wall.
Oh, and yeah, it's on my wall. I made a mirror and everything for it. I like when it's October and Spirit Halloween opens, I go home decor shopping because it's just it's a vibe. It's kind of like, do you listen to like heavy metal?
So heavy metal can get very heavy. I listen to a lot of things. I would say, I mean, do we still consider Metallica heavy metal? I don't anymore, but I think it used to be.
We're besties now, but I'm going to go with Korn. Korn.
Okay, so yes, that's kind of where I thought you were going to go.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, but back in the day, Metallica was heavy metal.
Well, they were like emo metal, but I digress.
How fucking dare you? That's funny. Okay, so Korn, yes.
And how there's so many people scared of that music because it's angry and it's foreign and it makes them feel things. But some of the nicest, most giving and selfless people I have ever met was in a mosh pit, not at church.
Yeah, don't get me started on that because I'm going to go ahead and agree with you there.
I was raised Catholic. We can talk for a long time.
I
went to the schools and everything, yeah.
I'd rather take a fucking elbow to the face in a mosh pit and have that person pick me up than take a fake smile sitting in church. Mm-hmm. Any day of the week.
Absolutely.
And I've never been in a mosh pit.
And metalheads are so happy. They have their metalhead t-shirts and like, you know, you're out in public and you see someone else with the same shirt and you're like, do you like the same things I do? And it's just so like welcoming. Do you have a studded bracelet? Come on, let's go.
Let's party. We just became best friends.
Yeah. And because they're able to embody their emotions and express their emotions and their anger and their negativity through this music. And they get it. It's like if you only listen to happy music.
Unknown.
Yeah.
It's a fear of the unknown. It's why Metallica was devil worshippers. ACD's devil worshippers. If you play Dungeons and Dragons, you're a devil worshipper. Mm-hmm. All these things have this negative thing. And it's funny because I always thought it is, I'm going to use the word weird, but it's kind of weird when you think about, and this is just society. This is, I'm right there with everyone else. It's like if I walk into your house and I see all this stuff you talk about, I'm going to go, what a fucking, ugh. Josh, skulls everywhere and, you know, all this weird shit. And she just maybe like a devil worshiper of sort, or she's very negative and hates life. But I don't, now that I know you and what you do, I don't think the skulls behind you are weird. I don't think the plague mask is weird. It's like it makes sense in a weird way because now I'm not ignorant to death. Like if you're accepting of death, then you can be accepting of that decor. And it's quite honestly is not as weird as it may seem when you don't get it.
It's an
Does that make
homage.
Sense? Or was that a completely random
No,
glass of whiskey
absolutely makes
talking?
sense. Absolutely makes sense. And it's being able to freely express how we feel about our lives and how we feel about our death is beautiful, and it should be regular. Like, slow me down if I'm getting too far, but in school, they should be teaching us about death.
They don't teach us about anything anymore.
No, they... No.
I like talking about
Catholic
bad.
School.
Yeah. Everything bad, it should be talked about because, you know, you see this in the States right now where it's like, they don't want to talk about this because it's bad. Like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, we'll just say, for example, slavery, okay? Mm-hmm. Not a good thing. What's not a good thing is not talking about it. Like,
what's that word? Complacency is silent agreement?
Yes, I think, yeah.
If you don't do anything, then you're still part of the problem.
Yeah. Please throw all the slavery in my face, in my children's faces, so they can see how awful it was.
Yeah.
So that
Educate
when
me.
they have to hear stories about it, they can understand, oh, wow, that must have been awful. Because that's
Yeah.
the whole point to me is like, no, please, they're okay. You can tell them. I speak like I have a 13-year-old and a soon-to-be 10-year-old. And I talk with both of them at this point like I'm speaking to an adult. I'm like, you are older kids now. Here are my thoughts. I would love to hear yours.
Honestly, in my line of work, it's actually easier talking to children than it is to adults. Because they're not looking at the world through the lens of their wounds, of their life.
Lifetime of scars and disappointment.
Yeah. They're just like, and the thing with talking to children is, don't lie. It's kind of like talking to a judge. Like, answer only the questions asked. Don't give them any extra information. So it's like, what's death? Like, oh, well, like we don't live forever. Our bodies are borrowed, and we have to give them back when we're done. And sometimes we have to give them back when we're not ready.
So you've been a doula for children?
I have been a grief worker for children. I haven't worked specifically with a child, but I do. I will, because not a lot of doulas will, because they're parents.
Yeah.
I'm not a parent. That's not an adventure I chose to have. So I can sit there with the child and answer their questions and have the hard talk that a parent just shouldn't even have to have with their child.
Yeah. How do you deal with it? Like, you did say you separate yourself from it. How do you separate yourself from it? It has got to take a toll to some degree, even though you're separating yourself from it. I think it's wonderful work that you do. And I'm glad that I learned what it was. I mentioned before we started recording, I didn't know what it was. And I hear of doula and death doula and, birth doula. And you hear all these terms and you're like, wow, that's really interesting. And then when you see one in person, when my son was born, that doula offered something I didn't. And I was glad she was there. It's just, my wife wanted a doula and that person was there. And we did our own jobs in tandem. And I said, whatever you need from me, you let me know, but you got it. Right. And so it was a really good thing, but that's a happy time. Mm-hmm. And it can be a scary time, but overall, it's generally a happy time. Mm-hmm. And so do you try to get, I don't want to say death to be happy, but I don't know, what are your coping mechanisms? Because that's a lot to deal with for anybody.
Dark humor, rum and coke. I do a lot of writing, journaling, reflecting. I sit in silence. I love writing when no one's around, when I can just be with myself. So, naturally, I go to the local cemetery. It's really quiet there. It's really quiet there. I go every now and then and I put flowers down on random graves if I can and kind of thank them for letting me use their space and see what the headstones have to teach me, and it's hard. It sucks. I'm not great at it all the time. It takes practice, daily practice, and if I'm feeling overwhelmed, then I'll have myself a good old little minty bee and reflect on that and keep going. And
yep.
I believe that the real currency in life is time and energy. I know that my energy going into this business is finite. This is not going to be my forever job. I have a lot to give. I have a lot that I'd like to teach. And then if I recognize that it's bringing less joy or it's taking too much out of me, then I'm going to have to bow out. And that's also kind of why I did season 2 on the podcast. It's just all about, here's how to be a death doula, and here's the part that sucks, and because I can't do it forever.
Yeah. And
I
it's because of the toll, it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know that, like, I've had a difficult life. Who hasn't?
Right.
And so I know that feeling in my chest of, can I do this? Can I give this my all? And if I can't give it my everything to someone literally dying who wants reassurance and a witness and a companion, then I'm out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because I want you all in. If I'm all in on the dying,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you there with me, I need you to be all there with me. I can't have you check out halfway through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have resources. I have my little, I call it my doula Bible, which is ironic. I have prayers in there from just about any religion you can think of. I have poems to read, depending on what's the last thing you want to hear. And one of the biggest things that I do is I tend to your senses. Because some people think about, like, oh, I don't want to die at home, or I don't want to die in the hospital, and that's kind of where it stops. But, like, do you want your fuzzy socks on? Do you want the window open? What music do you want to listen to? What smell do you want to be your last smell? What is the last big experience of this world that you want to have? And it's so beautiful how there's so many different rituals and ceremonies for everyone. And it's, rituals and ceremonies have been going on since before we've been documenting them. And they've lost their importance. There's a reason we do funerals. There's a reason we do weddings. There's a reason we celebrate milestones.
Yep.
We are ritualistic creatures. And that's why there was such a hard time during COVID, because we couldn't have the funerals, we couldn't have the weddings, we couldn't celebrate those milestones, we couldn't get together and have that energy exchange.
Yeah, my grandmother died during COVID, and her memory had started to slip, and I had a friend, have a friend, his dad died, we'll say 20 years ago, and my grandma came to the funeral because, she loves my friend, and everyone's sad because it's a funeral, right? It's to be expected. And she just said, don't do this when I die. Just laugh. Have some fun conversations. Just please don't be sad. And of course, that conversation made me sad. But then it stuck with me. And I had realized that I was the only person to ever talk to her that I know of about her dying.
Yeah.
And it weirdly helped me when she died.
Yeah.
But COVID did not help my dad and my uncles. It didn't help me any, but with knowing that you couldn't go see this person. You can't hug this person. You can't be near the person you want to be near the most. And then to get the phone call from my aunt was just the shittiest fucking phone call ever. Mm-hmm. And it's like you took that from us. And then you get into the whole, then you're into, well, damn it, the lockdowns. And you're directing anger, probably in the wrong places, but it's still anger. It doesn't matter when anger comes out. It's just anger at that point.
Yeah.
But you felt ripped off. You felt like I didn't get what I fucking deserved. I was very selfish. I didn't get what I wanted. And I wanted for my dad and my uncles to get what they deserved.
It's the injustice, yeah.
Yeah. But then it kind of comes back to, like, life doesn't give a shit about your feelings. There's no playbook that says, here's how this is all going to go.
Yeah.
And things happen in between. Like I said earlier, right when we got started, you're born and you die, and there's going to be a whole bunch of shit that happens in between. And some of those things are going to be awesome, and some of them aren't. And a lot of the stuff that's around death, at that time and even now, it's just, you feel ripped off. And so what do you say to those people? My dad listens to this. My dad loves this show.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Because it's, hey, Johnny, also Johnny Thomas. But, like, what would you say to him? Because I've always felt that he deserves something. And I don't know what that something is, but is there anything that you would say to him that could be beneficial to hear from someone who, your life's work is to be involved with this? Knowing that the only person he wanted to be around was his mom, to be there for her, and that was taken away from him.
She wasn't taken away from him. I believe in the law of conservation of energy, which states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. And we are all made of energy. That's how we have circulation. That's how we can talk. That's how we have these weird feelings and emotions. And we like to think that we're better than animals, but we're not. And she's not gone. She's transformed. Not witnessing that, not being there for that, that's excruciating, of course. Of course it is. You want to hold her hand. You want to hug. You want that for yourself, and you want that for her. But life doesn't give a shit. And not being there in her last moments doesn't take away any moment before. It doesn't make any other moment less important. It doesn't make any other memory less important. And usually what I say to people is, you can still communicate with that energy. And it might be a little like woo-woo, but sue me. It's an honor to grieve someone who meant so much to us, and to not be there, would possibly make them feel like they failed or they missed out on something. And I can guarantee that as she was there, as it was happening, she wasn't like, oh, I wish so-and-so was here. She was like, man, that was awesome. That was so cool.
Knowing her, I guarantee it.
Right? Like, that was a fucking blast. Like, so good. And it's, I like to say, like, may their memory bring you comfort. Because that's what we make. We make our memories.
Can't take those from people.
You can't take memories, and you can't take hope. You absolutely cannot. And not being there in one moment doesn't negate the thousands and thousands of other moments you were there. It sucks and it hurts, and I wish it could have been different. but it wasn't, and that's still okay. Because you're still honoring her, and you're still loving her. And that's what matters. You're still keeping the memory alive. That's what matters.
Yeah.
You're taking all the lessons that she gave you and then teaching your sons and your daughters. And that legacy, that's how we live on. And it's, you know, what I would have said to your grandmother is that there is going to be a beautiful welcome for you in the home that you're going to. And, you know, there's actually there's a kind of circadian rhythm to death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people actually die around 11 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really, that's interesting.
Yeah. And knowing that death isn't painful. There might be discomfort from disease or injury, but the actual physical act of dying, it's there's something called the withdrawal of elements theory. The way that we're born, the way that we come into this world is the same way reversed in which we exit it. So when we're born, we take our first breath and we can hear things. And that's the air. And then with the fire, we warm up and our cheeks get red and we can taste things and our skin is hydrating and we need water to live now. And then we get the earth where we gain our energy and our strength and our voice, like being able to speak. And then when we die, it goes reverse order. So you start getting tired and a little bit weak and speaking less. And you actually physically smell different to people.
Really?
Science, yeah. And then the water withdraws, so you get dehydrated. And you need more lip chap and hand lotion and stuff like that. And your sense of taste changes. So you may have noticed that she didn't like the same foods that she did before, and it was just kind of weird and off. And then the fire leaves us, so we become cold and we need our blankets and our fuzzy socks. And then our sight changes. And then, of course, the air, we stop breathing and we stop hearing. And there's even a theory, actually, that considers the dominant element in our astrological chart. And it says that that dominant element will be affected more so in your withdrawal of element on a higher intensity. And there's so many studies done on near-death experiences like you and I were talking about before. And they've actually been able to study near-death experiences in an MRI, which was like blow your mind. But the consensus is you feel warmth and serenity and security and euphoria and joy and love, and you feel like you're ready to go home, and your brain chemicals gather for one last hoorah, one last fireworks display for yourself.
Is that why they talk about people kind of like perking up
That's
right before they die?
That's called the Great Show. And yes.
Okay.
So one thing that I always tell clients' families is, if you think to yourself, like, wow, like, Grandpa's having a really good day today, I'm going to go home and have a shower. Don't. That means his body's getting ready. And that's typically, it can be anywhere from within a day to hours within of the Great Show. And your brain is a piece of art. there are so many brain chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, all that good stuff, that flood your system, that even if you are in pain, you don't feel it. Your body knows what to do. You have to trust it. And I think that's the part that scares people the most, is because how do I trust it? How do you trust that you're going to wake up in the morning?
Yeah.
How do you trust that you're going to be able to fall asleep? Your body knows what to do. And that goes with the self-trust and self-acceptance and everything as well. And one of the most beautiful things is one of the commonalities in near-death experiences is that each person was able to integrate their dying within their own belief system. So basically what that means is what you believe you're going to see, you're going to see.
Interesting.
It's your brain being your buddy. Like, for me, I'm going to be, like, flooded with animals. Dogs and cats and lizards and birds and things everywhere. But thinking of this, it can be beautiful. But if you think about it, it can be terrifying. Because what if you don't like yourself? What if you didn't accept yourself? What if you did not take responsibility for your past emotional wounds? And you're looking through that lens of hatred for yourself. What if that is the belief that you take with you into your last breath? That's what I want to stop. That's what I want to help with. That's what I want to give people the opportunity to meet themselves, so that when they really meet themselves in those last moments, they're like, man, that was awesome. I did the best I could. Instead of shoulda, coulda, woulda, I'm not ready. We're never ready. But we're not promised forever, and we're not promised an easy go. And if we can accept that, then the hard times are speed bumps.
Yeah. How do you change that mentality in people before they die, right? If I do something and I get arrested, I'm going to go, well, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Well, it's too late now, right? You were an asshole.
For sure, for sure.
You didn't need to drive that car into a crowd. You did, and now you're going to deal with the consequences of that.
Well, I mean, assholes die too.
Yes.
And I hate when they get sanctified in their funeral. I'm all for, like, not speaking shit of the dead, but I'm also not gonna lie. Like, narcissists, they die too.
Yeah.
Racist people, they die too. And they have to accept their shit at the end of their life. Good or bad.
Yeah.
And so the way I help people is I ask really hard questions.
Do you, real quick, do you call them on it if you think they're full of shit? Or do people tell you the truth all the time, or you think they're lying?
Oh, of course people lie. But that's part of, like, they don't want me to think that they're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, like, I think you're a human being. Like, if you were a piece of shit, I wouldn't be here helping you die.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I would still help a piece of shit die. But I think a good death is possible. And I absolutely call them on their shit. And they don't like me all the time for it, and that's okay. I'll be the bad guy, but if that's what gets you thinking, like, the way that I do it is through, it's called a life review. And it doesn't matter how old you are. We do a life review, and it's a natural process, and it achieves a more profound life concept, and it creates acceptance, and it integrates memories and lessons together. It decreases anxiety, it decreases depression, it enhances the end of life quality of life, and it gives you that psycho-spiritual healing, so that at the end of it you can say, I did my best. Because that's all we can say. I did the best with what I had, with the knowledge I had in that moment. I acted the way that I saw fit for this situation. And everybody acts on what they think is best.
Right.
Sometimes it's misguided, sometimes it's not. But if you can have that psycho-spiritual growth and be like, holy shit, I am a human being. I can hold the paradox of I have done bad things and I have done good things. I have been mean. I have been loving. I have been neglectful of myself. I have been neglectful of my relationships or my house, or I was stuck in my brain because of childhood trauma and wounds. But you still did the best with what you had. And that's where that self-compassion comes in.
Do you see people make a complete 180? Do you see people change from the second you meet with them, knowing that they're full of shit, until when they're ready to die, you're like, you are not the same person that sat down with me a while back. You are the real you now, and you've accepted these things. Like, do people make that much of a change through the process?
They do. Not right away. It's hard to accept your mortality, but I mean, my friend, he was like, when we first started talking, he was terrified. He was 27 when he died. And so we did life review things and went through all the difficult times he had, and near the end he was like, I never thought that I would be ready, but I'm ready. And I can't even, I have a hard time accepting that that was a gift that I gave him. It's so profound. And to have him say, like, I feel at peace. Like, if that's the only client I ever had, like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's a nice.
That's good. That's good.
I did good work here today.
I did good. Yes, things happened. Yes, and we did it mostly through dark humor.
That's my thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, he had stage 4 cancer. It had metastasized everywhere. You could hear the pain in his voice. You could hear how tired he was. And we were talking one day, and he's like, you know what, like, I'm just worried about life that I haven't lived yet, about what I'm missing out on. And so, I mean, I took a gamble, of course, but I was like, you know what? You're cheating. You're cheating your way. You don't have to pay mortgage. You don't have to go through divorce. You don't have to see what's happening in the political climate going on right now. Like, you're cheating.
Yeah.
And he just burst out laughing. And
you were going to say died laughing.
I was going to say died laughing. There's lots of jokes, like people are dying to see me, and I put the fun in funeral, and oh yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, not bad, hey? And it was just, it's, how do you have that connection with someone and not be better for it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone I meet wants to talk about death. As soon as they hear...
Your clients, or when people find out what you do for a living?
When people find out what I do, they share their stories of their loved one. And I ask their name.
So I was no different when I talked about my grandma. That's just par for the course.
Yeah. People
Everyone
tell
does
me
it.
all about... Because they want to talk about it. They want to be seen. They want to be acknowledged. And they want to talk about their loved one.
You make it not taboo to
Yeah.
talk about.
I mean, I don't go up to people and be like, who's died in your life recently? But people are terrified to talk about it when it comes to themselves. But man, do they want to tell you about their loved ones. And that is my favorite part of the job, because if they're going to die the last time their name is said, I'm a part of keeping that memory alive just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And that's fucking badass. I can die
It is.
happy knowing that I was able to do that.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So I had a couple people. Well, so I had one call and a couple emails that I was wondering if, because I let some people know that you would be coming on and put some feelers out there. I was just curious if anyone would take the bait, and so I had a call, and then I had, like I said, 2 emails. Can I share those with you
Absolutely.
after that sip of rum and Coke? All
In a
right.
skull glass.
It's. I didn't even realize that. I just thought that was a really awesome fucking mason jar. I love it.
What's this called?
That's badass. Did you ever see Dan Aykroyd's, is it vodka that he has? I think it's called Crystal Skull.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look it up. I think it's in there. He's a Canadian, right?
Probably. Does he apologize?
Does he apologize? God, is that funny? That's never not going to be funny.
No,
Oh,
that's
shit.
true.
All right. So what would you like first? Well, do you want to do email for a little, for some OCD shit that I have?
Yeah,
You
I
over
like that.
All right.
Yeah, patterns.
Let me see here. Give me 1 second. All right. We got one from Jeffrey. Okay. We've all heard of the light. It's in quotes, right? The light.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain the light? And can you tell when someone sees the light? I guess, if that makes sense. So they are seeing the light we've heard about. As the doula, can you see when they're seeing that?
No. Because...
Is the light real?
Yes.
Okay.
It is, and it's part of the whole brain chemical thing that I was talking about before.
The big show? Is that part of the big show?
No, it's part of the actual dying process.
Okay.
Because, and that's why it only happens with near-death experiences, because you have to be on the cusp. And that's when your circulation is changing, your brain chemicals are changing, your nerves are firing, and there's just something unexplainable in the brain where the brain knows to show you a warm light. Now, if that's a strain on some kind of ocular nerve, I don't think so. I think magic is just something that science can't explain yet. And if you think about it, we're all made of star stuff. We're all
Yeah.
atoms. We're all
Elements and
We're all elements
Everything.
in water, and we're over here paying taxes and shit, like,
You and your fucking free healthcare.
right?
You Canadian.
Not to brag or anything.
Not to brag, but I can
Not to brag
totally
or
break my
anything.
arm and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So the light and
And it's normal.
it's normal. And you kind of said what I always thought, actually, where I've listened to podcasts on near-death experiences, and I encourage everyone to explore that fucking realm, because your mind will be blown. I have heard of somebody falling off of a horse, and their spirit and their body was back at the stable when the call came in on the radio to say that this person fell. They heard their own like car crashes where people had seen people. It's just fascinating. So I've kind of always believed in that, and I've always believed in the light. And I think what's fun about the light is that science can't explain it, like you said. And until science can explain it, it's just magic. It's just we don't know what the answer is, but everyone says it, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, and it's going again with your integrating with your belief system as you die. Because who wouldn't be comforted by a warm, bright light? That's the first thing we see when we're born.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't it be the last thing we see when we die? Nature is very cyclical. Everything is a season. Everything is a cycle. Even healing. Like, healing isn't linear. It's a spiral. You're going to come around to the same point again, but it's going to hurt less and less and less as you go through it. And that's the same with everything is a reason, a season, a lifetime. And having those near-death experiences, like, did you hear about Steve Jobs, whatever, last words?
I accepted the way you were going to say that name.
Jobs. I'm French. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that, I think it's anyone above that border we have that tends to say certain words certain ways. But no, I did not hear this. Please fill me in.
His last words were, "Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow." And the number one most common last word that people say is mama.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Mine's going to be like, toss me another one, or that was amazing, or...
That's really sad. That's so sad.
Because
Mama.
There's so many people who were not given a nurturing mother, or the mother was not given a chance to be a nurturing mother, or taught how to be, or they're holding intergenerational trauma. And at the end of our lives, we just want to be held.
So do you feel that people that have that trauma in those experiences are more likely to say mama? Or just as likely to say it?
I think just as likely. Because, I mean, like, I'm an orphan. But of course I still want my parents.
Right.
Maybe not as they were, but in the way that a child would ask for their parents.
Yeah.
They want that comfort. Just hold me and, like, kiss my
make
knee
it all better.
and tell me that everything's going to be okay, and give me a cool Band-Aid and tell me I'm a big, strong girl and that everything's going to be okay. And that's kind of what I try to give to people.
Very nice. Good. All right, ready for the call?
I'm ready.
All right. Hopefully I got the volume right. It'll blast your ears out of your head. Let's see here.
Hey, Mike, I heard you were having a death doula on your show, and I think that's really awesome. I'm curious to know how she got into her line of work and what she does to help facilitate the end of life. And my main question is there any similar experience of people at the end of life, regardless of religion or culture? Thanks. Love your show.
I like that one.
That's nice.
That's a good one. That's interesting. So I'm Muslim. You're a Christian. There's a Hindu. And what's similarities, right? That's what I gathered from that. Like, that's a great question.
They want to be witnessed and honored. And that's why I don't take it personally if they don't have the same beliefs as me. That's none of my business. My job is to meet them where they are. And if you want me to say a prayer, I'm there. I will say it with you. We can go through mantras. We can pray on the rosary. We can, whatever I can do to put my energy into honoring you. But the most basic need of creatures, of humans, is to be seen, heard, understood, and accepted as they are, not as they could be, not as they were.
That's just a human thing.
That's just what we all want. That's why we're out here on social media. That's why we're wearing those clothes and doing this style and talking this way. And we're all trying to relate to each other in such a way that we can be connected and have our existence validated by another human being, because throughout our lives, sure as shit, people are going to do the opposite and make you feel like crap because they have their own stuff going on. And when you're dying, did I do good? Was I seen? Was I valid? Did I exist? Did this really happen? And they want someone there to say, yeah, you lived. You really lived.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there shaking my head thinking I can relate to this, but that's the whole point of what you just said, is that like we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
Did I do good? A pat on the back. And I constantly say, I don't need a pat on the back, whether it's with my job or at home. Like I don't fucking need good job.
But it feels
I think I do.
good.
But it does feel good to get good job.
It feels great.
It feels good.
It lights you up. And
yep.
I think that's what we should be doing while we're alive. Light other people up. Like your beard.
Heck yeah.
Magnificent.
Except for this patchy part that the microphone's blocking. Well,
My
thank you. I
goodness.
appreciate that.
Like, there you go. You put
like
work
that.
into that.
I did. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind.
Thank you.
You don't have a beard. I like your hair.
Not that you can see. Oh, thank you.
Not that you can see.
The wonders of makeup.
Yeah.
No, but
oh my gosh.
the world went wrong when we started comparing ourselves to other people.
And that was before.
It was like before the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, it's just the social media aspect has really heightened all of that and made it so much worse, to where it seems like everyone's like, we've got a voice. Everyone should have a voice. And I'm like, I don't know about that anymore. What people need less of is fucking set of ears, because people will believe anything they hear.
Yeah.
And yikes.
Like, freedom of speech is great, but also, like, shut up sometimes.
So pet peeve of mine is
You
when
know?
somebody doesn't understand what the freedom of speech actually is.
Yeah,
I'm on
it doesn't
Facebook.
mean
I can say whatever I want. It's like, that's
Yeah.
not how that works.
It doesn't mean freedom from consequences.
Yeah. Yes.
And I had an episode about that with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And it's not even political on my behalf. It's, why are you sitting in front of a keyboard cheering on murder?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
And
agree
so-
with his bullshit. I don't... Like, nobody deserves to die like that.
What I thought was interesting about that whole thing is that you can find a million clips that make you hate him. If you want to hate him, we all see what we want to see. We hate to be proven wrong. We hate to know that we were wrong.
We don't like to admit that we didn't know the full story.
Right. But
Yeah.
what I noticed with that was I saw a number of clips where I'm like, well, that could have been worded differently. That wasn't great. And then I've heard other ones and seen other ones where it's like, wow, that is such a compassionate and loving comment. So it's like, what narrative do you want to see? Do you want to hate him? Do you want to love him? Do you want to support him? Are you glad he's dead? You can find anything you want out there, but we tend to all see the things we want to see. And at the end of the day, cheering on death for anyone is just, that's just not right.
No.
You know?
And like I said before, assholes die too.
Assholes die too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I could leave my mark upon the world, if I got like my magic genie wish, I would make sure social media just didn't exist.
Yet
And
again,
make people
more reasons
have
for me and you
to-
to be best friends.
Yeah. Make people have to connect with like voice.
I've said to my kids, you know, there's followers and there's likes and there's loves and there's little heart emojis and there's thumbs up emojis and all of those things. But specifically, when you think about the word followers, follower and friend are not the same thing. And like, if you think about it, like, I mean, my gosh, if you've got one good friend, if you've got one person that'll listen, if you've got one, just anybody, it doesn't matter. If you have somebody that just cares enough to listen, you're all right. You're all right. And it's like, it's kids, you're like, I don't have that many friends. And I'm like, those kids you say have friends don't have a lot of friends. Those are acquaintances. They're just people that maybe play a sport with them. Those are, those aren't real relationships. And it's like, if you have, you know, my goodness, if you had 5 friends, you'd be the luckiest person on earth. I don't even know if I know anyone that has 5 genuine, these are the best friends. I don't know because it's such a high number. Over the course of your life, you're going to have a bunch of those. But to have them all at once is, I think, a fascinating idea.
I mean, it's definitely quality over quantity.
Yeah.
But it's also putting your worth and your value into how many other people can see you with or without considering whose validation and acceptance you're seeking. Like, I was at this really tough job, and the people there were like, not cool. I was weird. I was undiagnosed ADHD at the time. Like, my bad. But I was still human. And the way that they treated me was like, and for a couple of years I was desperately trying to fit in and be one of the gang and like tell the jokes and stuff, so much that I shrunk myself to try and be accepted. And then one day I woke up and I was like, I don't even like these people. Why do I want them to like me? And there was one lady at work who out loud did not like me. And I remember saying to her, like, why would I want you to like me?
Yeah.
And that blew her gasket.
Because
I was like,
she lost control of the situation.
She
is what it was.
I stopped giving her the power over my emotions.
Exactly.
Like, if I wouldn't go to you for advice, why am I going to you to acknowledge my existence?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great feeling, by the way, is when you reach the zero fucks stage of things that used to be important. And you're like, my God, I gave a shit. I fucking gave a shit about that.
I gave a lot of shits.
Oh yeah, we all do. We all.
I was giving out fucks like they were just
a lot of energy,
unlimited
fucks given, and yeah.
And energy is a currency. Like, you can decide.
You said that earlier. Time and energy is. The time one really stuck with me when you said that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, we spend time.
'Cause you don't get it back. You spend it. And you don't.
We spend energy.
You can't buy time.
Yeah.
Okay, got one more.
Okay.
Well, I like this one. This one's from Eric. Do families usually struggle more than the person who is dying?
Yes.
You said that way fast. So that is a hell yes.
That is a hell yeah. Typically, in my experience, once I've worked with someone to get that peace and acceptance, I have to work with the families to get the peace and acceptance, because they're scared of change. They're scared of the unknown. They're scared of all the work that has to be done after. They're scared of all the emotional labor that has to be done after. And at the end of the day, they don't want their mom to go. And so instead of working with these 30, 40, 50-year-old adult children, I'm comforting the 8-year-old version of them that doesn't want to live without mom. And that's why some people will try and hold on longer, because their families don't want them to go. And that's also why it's important to say, like, if you need to go, if you're ready to go, I'm going to be okay. This
the family
sucks.
Members to say that?
Yeah. This sucks and it's going to hurt, but I am going to be okay because you taught me how. And, like, dying is easy. The body knows what to do, it just does it. Living.
Yeah. That is the hard part.
Living is the hard part.
What's the hardest part of your job?
With big emotional experiences, such as death, anything can be perceived as a slight, or it wasn't perfect, or it wasn't quite right, or it wasn't quite, like, nothing goes according to plan. You know, even if I, like, couldn't open the window until after, or just the littlest things, people will aim their emotions at the closest person, and that is me.
Are we talking from a physical standpoint, like you are the closest to me? So were you going to catch my wrath, or the closest to them from, like, a relationship standpoint?
Relationship standpoint and physically.
Okay.
Because they don't want to accept their reality, and they want someone to blame. They want someone to place their anger on, because they feel like they could have done more, or they didn't, or whatever is going through their minds, they blame it on me, or they take it out on me. And so staying objective through that, and remembering that how other people treat you is a reflection of them, not you, That's what gets me through that. But man, does it hurt.
Yeah.
Because I am giving...
Say that one more time. How people treat you is a reflection on them, not you.
How other people treat you is a reflection of them. So like how I'm treating you is based on the lessons that I've learned, the things that I've done, the things that I've gone through, the shitty times, the good times, everything like that. And now here I am treating you with respect as a fellow human being.
Because then you are, in fact, a respectful human being and you are a kind person. So that is a reflection on you, good and bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
it's a good way to look at that.
If you were to try and talk to me after my dad died, you would have seen a different part of me. And the thing is to not take it personally, because people will only meet you as far as they've met themselves. So if they don't have the emotional intelligence to say, my mom died and that sucks, and Anne-Marie's helping and did everything she could, and I accept my current reality, which doesn't happen immediately, ever, and that's okay. Emotions are going to come and go. But maybe don't take it out on the people who put their heart and soul into trying to help.
Yeah.
I am doing everything that I can. I'm non-medical. I don't give pain medication. I won't even wet their lips with a sponge because they can aspirate at certain times. Like, I am...
Oh, you are completely fucking hands off.
I am completely... I will hold your hand.
What about chapstick?
If it's in... so I have... It's called like a end-of-life plan. So if it's in there and agreed upon already that, yes, she likes chapstick, maybe not peppermint, stuff like that. If there is predetermined consent, then yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, no. Because you don't know what people are allergic to. You don't know, like, there's just... I'm there to soothe their hearts.
It'd be fucked up if you were holding their hand and their hand fell off. You're like, well, shit, now I got to put that into the...
Now I've got 3. I don't know what to do.
Holding 3 of their fingers. This wasn't in what I had them sign, son of a bitch.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's smart. Yeah, you definitely do not know what's in certain things. And an allergic reaction when somebody's dying would probably take away from that moment.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And, like, how would I recover from that?
Yeah, that's
like,
a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to just people in general in the fear of death and talking about it and accepting it? Because like I said, when I had that conversation with my grandmother where she was like, listen, don't do this for me. Be sad or whatever, but just like, don't do this. Don't do this. And I accepted at that moment. There was a fear that I didn't know I have, because you're not like walking around thinking of someone dying. And well, I mean, I guess at a funeral you may, but what is, I don't know. What's the advice you would give just on the topic?
Accept your mortality.
It's as simple as that?
And everything else will come.
I've struggled with that recently. It's, you know what it is? I'll tell you this one. We'll get out of here soon. I've had just terrible brain fog. Ever since COVID, I have had horrific brain fog. Like mid-sentence, what the fuck was I just talking about level of brain fog? I just feel like there's a cloud. I feel like there's always this little bit of a pressure in my temples. And then I go to myself and I say, I wonder if I have cancer. Like, you know, it's a weird thing. I wonder if I have dementia. Do I have a tumor? Like these weird little things that will pop into your head every once in a while because something's off, something's abnormal. Reality of it is it's probably my sleep habits. Could be caffeine. I don't know what it is, but it's probably none of those things. But I've realized in talking with you that I'm certainly not ready for death for many of the reasons that you've listed. That's all. I don't know if it was a question or a point. But I felt like saying that. It's like in thinking about it, it's like I don't think I'm ready. Would you say? I would say most people, or the overwhelming majority, are not ready, right?
Yeah. And that's kind of the secret, is you don't have to be. The things that matter, whether you're ready or not, is, have you given your life meaning? Have you given your life purpose? Has your life been satisfying? What values are important to you to embody? What fears do you have? What hopes do you have? The big thing is, meet yourself. Get to know yourself. And then, ready or not, you have that inner peace.
Yeah.
Whether it's a car accident or old age, you're like, all right.
I was ready for it.
Yeah. Not that I was ready for it, but
accepting of the fact that it will come at some time.
I'm happy with how I have lived my life. And if you cannot say that, pardon me, sorry. If you cannot say that, you can fix it.
I think I'm happy. Actually, I know I'm happy. I think, like anyone else, I think we would certainly change things. Like, with not even really knowing you, I know that you've got a million things you would change in your life, and I would do the same damn thing. I can't. I did the list is too long, but yeah, I think accepting who we are and being okay with who we are is most important, because none of us are perfect.
No, we're human.
It's just, yeah, we're human. We're meant. We just. We're puzzles, and I think all of us are like, you flip over you take that puzzle out of a box, you fucking dump it, and you're like, well, there's like 13 pieces missing here. It's like not really a whole puzzle. Are we still going to put it together? And you kind of put it together, and you're like, well, that thing's not all there. That's me. I just described myself to you. I think we're like 13 pieces missing. So
yeah, oh yeah, I have no corner pieces, and some of the painting is peeling off the edge. And one of my dogs ate the other piece, and
puzzle piece.
Someone glued some together. Some's missing. The picture on the lid doesn't even match what's inside. But that's my puzzle.
Yep.
And I love it.
With all the imperfect little corners.
Yeah, and all the little skulls and animals and stuff.
Oh, all right. One last question for you, if you don't mind. If anyone listening to this is in a situation where their loved ones or themselves perhaps are dealing with these end-of-life decisions and thoughts, any of the things we've talked about, where should they start to try to, whether it's reach out to you or a book or just research? What would you recommend the first step be? Because I think that's got to be the scariest thing, is okay, all right, now we've accepted it, let's get going.
Mm-hmm. I would say, you can reach out to me, absolutely. I have on my Linktree, there's a slew of book recommendations. There's so much knowledge in those books with the fears that people have before they die, and there's so many questions that you might not know you have that are answered in those books. But the best place to start with is talk about it. And it can be hard, but hey Mike, what do you want done with your body when you die? I want to know so I can honor you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. Well, I do.
How do you get people to talk? So if I'm dying and I want to talk to somebody and they're not ready, obviously you can't force their hand because then it's not the right time. And everyone has to kind of do things on their own time. But is there anything that somebody can do to make somebody understand? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yeah, totally.
Like, I'm the one
grumpy
dying, I
old
need to
men.
talk to somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
Can you help me? Can you give me a fucking ear?
The thing with the grumpy old men who have been to war and they don't show emotion and they don't do anything. What are you proud of? What do you want your legacy to be? And it's like I was saying before, you ask the questions that dance around the answer that you're trying to get. So if I'm like, hey Mike, what do you want done with your body after you die? And you're like, I don't know. Just bury me in the garden. Like, okay, so you like nature, you're not scared of, and you kind of just suss it out that way. And usually we know the answer anyways. I'm like, personally, I don't like the dark. I don't like bugs. I don't want to be buried. So I want to be cremated and turned into something really cool and then shot into space. I want to go back and be star stuff. And there's actually people that do that. There's a company in the States that does that.
Really? Of course, it's in the States.
Yeah, it's not in Canada
Why would it
yet.
fucking be anywhere else? That is...
America.
Wow, that's some cool shit right there.
It's
I
all
don't like
psychology.
bugs. Except for crickets when you got to feed the little lizards. But,
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to look into that one. Shit, I'm going to tag that company here. But I will...
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Yeah, please do. And I'll put all your info out there, too, if you wanted to kind of... One last thing, let all the listeners know where they can find you, all your new listeners from us, and where to follow you, where to get information. You mentioned your link tree. I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I can be found on Instagram or Facebook, even though Facebook's going the way of the dinosaurs, as Dear Psychopomp. There's Linktree / Dear Psychopomp or contact at dearpsychopomp.com.
Excellent. And I will, like I said, I'll post all these in the notes of the show, and then certainly on socials when we get the clips out there. So, Anne Marie, it's been an absolute joy having you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think it's a very interesting thing that you do. I think it's a wonderful thing that you do, and hopefully more people can kind of come to terms with what is inevitable with all of us. And, even something as simple as just planning for people to take a little bit off the plates of the people that are going to survive, put a will together. Just every little bit helps. But really, I think you hit the nail on the head is just talk about it.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to deal with it.
Normalize it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
I would love to have you back on. Like I said, I feel like there's a million things we could talk about.
Anytime.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Excellent. Well, excellent. And be sure to check out her podcast, too. It is just, I've never enjoyed listening to death topics so much. I don't know how quite to say it, but it's just, you do a really good job on it, and it's really interesting.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, well, everybody, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.